Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to your last lesson of the week. I promise you it is quite a quick one today, and it's one where you're not going to have to do a huge amount of writing, which you'll be pleased with. Usually I would use the beginning of the class to give you a bit of feedback on how you did in the last task, but as you probably have seen, I haven't gone through your stuff yet. That's my today's job. So I'll be quickly racing through all your work from last lesson today, and um, then you can get on with, when you get your feedback and stuff, you can get on with your lesson. Right, today's lesson is a kind of similar to Scots. We're doing some Scots, we're doing some Scots words, but it's through the context of a bit of close reading skill. I'm not making you do a close reading paper, we're not doing close reading questions, I promise, but it's a skill that is necessary in close reading. Now, as you get older and you start to do more and more close reading papers, they'll start getting more tricky. And one of the ways in which they'll start getting more tricky is they're going to start using words that are a bit more complex and that might actually be unfamiliar to you. Now, there's two things you can do to combat this. Number one, which is my biggest recommendation, read as much as possible. Try and read as many books as you can, or whatever you can do, get reading, audiobooks, anything like that. That will help build up your vocabulary, meaning you'll know more words. You just pick them up as you go. If you come across words you don't know, you tend to look them up, or you tend to be able to work them out. However, there will come times, even for the most well-read people, there will come times when you have to, you get a word in front of you that you don't know. What I need you to do is use this skill where you basically work it out from its context. So you have a look at all the other words around it and you work out what it means. Now that is going to happen to you if you ever get Scots words that you don't know. You work out what's around it and you can kind of make a bit of a guess. So that's what today's lesson is. It's called working out a word from its context. Now, it actually used to be a question, a close reading question, and they would say, what does this word mean? But they've taken it off the paper. You'll be happy to know. But it's still an important thing to know, because I would say there's at least 10 words on a National 5 close reading paper that they don't know. So they have to try and work it out because they don't have a dictionary. They're not allowed to look it up. What I'm going to do is I'm about to show you a paragraph. Now, what I've done is I've written the paragraph with a lot of words that are made up. They are not real words. It's important for you to know that, so you don't try and work out what they mean based on what they sound like or what other words they look like. No, you can't do that, because they are random made up words. I'll show you. So I'll read you this whole paragraph. I would like you to be able to spot the made up words as we go. Ben is the name of person. That's not a made up word. Ben quickly entered the didot and cleaned the various mistures he had been using to repair the Weepit. He had often thought that this job was extremely yulning. However, he had to admit that this time things seemed to be a bit easier. When he finished, he put on his Reddick and went back to the study to relax. He took out his favourite pipe and settled into the beautiful new pog tree. What a pog tree. Only 300 yagmas. Okay, so you'll see there's a lot of words in there that are not real words. They are random words that are made up. However, you might be able to see already that you can probably guess what those words are meant to mean. Okay, so you can kind of work out, well, what word should it be? What do you think it actually means? What I would like you to do is a series of tasks, and this is really this is the first main task of the lesson. I would like you to write out every word that isn't a real word in a list going down the left-hand side of whatever you're typing in your Jotter or the laptop. Next to each word, I want you to write what you think that word means. And then next to each definition that you've put in, write how you know this. And it only has to be a really short sentence of how you know this. So I've looked at didot. Now it says, Ben quickly entered the didot and cleaned the various, and then it kind of moves on. So immediately I think, well, obviously it's somewhere he's entered. So it makes me think it must be a room. I assume you can agree with me here. But it says he cleans. Now my brain got to thinking, well, what room would you clean in? And I decided that it was either going to be the kitchen or the bathroom. I decided to go for the kitchen. Okay, so I said didot, I think, is the kitchen. And I wrote, because he cleans something in there, and kitchens have sinks. So it's as easy as that. So you've got to try and work out what each one means. For some reason, whenever I do this class, there's somebody in the class that always goes, oh, well, I don't know what that word means. Nobody knows what the words mean. They're all made up. So it's you're guessing, and then you've got to explain your guess. And that is really what happens when you come across real words you don't know. You guess, and then you explain your guess. So I'm going to let you pause it now and see how you do on this. Remember, you're guessing what this word means, but you've got to be able to explain why you think that. Okay? Okay, give it a pause and have a go. Okay, that should be you finished the task. It was a tricky one. I think it was a little bit harder. I will talk through what I would have come up with next lesson. Obviously, I'm not going to talk through it just now, otherwise you'll all be able to change your answers. I will actually give you a mark out of, I think there might be 8 of them. And basically, I'll give you the mark if I think you have explained well enough why you think it's that. Okay, so if you just randomly guessed words, you're not going to get any marks. But if you've obviously gone like, I think it might be this because of this, you'll get the mark. The final task is doing the same thing, the same technique, but for Scots words instead. Okay, and all you've got to do is lay out your answers like you've done here. The word, the definition, and then because. Okay, I'm not asking you to write in full sentences. I don't really mind. So I've got 4 here. The weather's pure dreich just now. The sky is so grey. Based on the context, what does dreich mean? Now, a few of you in the class might already know what dreich means because your parents or you might look out the window sometimes and go, oh, it's dreich outside. Unfortunately, this doesn't give you any additional help because you still have to explain how you know that based on the sentences. And you can't just say, I know it because I know it's that. Okay, that's not how it works. You still have to explain, how do I know that based on the sentence? The sky is so grey. So what does that tell us? Number 2, he's such a trite person. He never gets out of bed, and when he does, it's just to move to the sofa. So what does trite mean? I'm feeling pretty forsaken this morning. I keep yawning. What does forsaken mean? And I'm feeling a wee bit wabbit the day. I've had a high temperature and I've been coughing all the time. Oh no. I wrote this before COVID. Hopefully none of you are feeling wabbit. So you need to tell me what you think wabbit means. So that is another 4 questions. So I think if I'm right, this entire lesson, you'll get a score out of 12. Okay, so these ones, it will be pretty much how close can you get to the definition and can you explain yourself? And these ones, it will just be, have you generally got the right idea and have you explained yourself? So these ones I'm looking for a slightly more specific answer because it's much more easy, whereas these ones it's a bit more general because they are made up words. Okay, so you'll get your score out of 12. All right, guys, I'll leave you to work on your Scots words. You'll be happy that there was barely any writing today, so this shouldn't take you too long. Please give me a message if you're totally stuck, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much.